Hi, welcome back to the Mel-Tran Designs podcast. Today is Friday, September 29th, 2017. I think this is episode 112, if I remember correctly. My name is Melissa. I'm your host. I'm also known as Ananzi on Ravelry and on Instagram. I'm Mel-Tran Designs. There's a Mel-Tran Designs group on Facebook and Ravelry as well. And you can find the podcast on YouTube. So, welcome. I hope you've had a good week. Mine again has been quite busy, so we'll jump right in. It's probably going to be pretty short this week. I have one project really to show you. So, happenings this week. It's been more reffing. I did games on Monday and Wednesday, and I'm definitely learning a lot. Luckily, I haven't made any huge, crazy mistakes or anything, so that's really good. Knock on wood a little bit maybe. And I have 2 games this next week, and then unfortunately, I had to turn down a tournament for the weekend because it's at the same time as Cayenne's last game, and I'm her coach. So honestly, if it was this Saturday instead of next week, I probably would take it because it's a lot of money and it would be the second to last game, and it wouldn't have been as much of a big deal. But the girls have worked hard, and so I've decided, obviously, that I can't miss it. I'm not going to miss it. It wasn't really a hard decision. So, yeah. And then the Tuesday after that, I'm at a tournament as well. And what's really cool is this Tuesday and the next Tuesday, Jake and I have been assigned together. So we won't be working the same game. Well, this Tuesday, it's at a junior high, middle school, whatever. And I'm doing one grade and he's doing the other. So we're going to be at the school together, just not together. But then the next Tuesday we'll be at the school together again. He's with someone else doing in the other gym a different set of teams than I am. But it's cool that we get to drive together. Don't have to go to opposite ends of the valley. So yeah. So there's that. How did I manage to, oh, of course, I can't do 2x2 ribbing and talk at the same time. Have you noticed that? It's pretty much the easiest thing there is in knitting that isn't just plain garter stitch, and yet I cannot do it while talking. Anyway, alright, so there was that. It's been fun. Eli had a scouting thing on Wednesday night. They had a kind of a fall carnival, and they had games and all that kind of stuff. It was fun. Cayenne's team is doing so well. They had a decently bad game last Saturday, and the biggest thing was this other team, man, they had some big girls who were doing some big serves, and these little 10-year-olds who have never hardly even touched a volleyball were like, ah. And so they pretty much lost because they didn't return the serves. Anytime they did, and there was, kind of a rally going back and forth, they won the rally. They just couldn't hit the ball back over after the serve. And so I thought up this practice where I get 6 of them on the court and then 4 of them over on the side. And I would hit it over, throw it over, and they would hit it back and then rotate, and one person would leave and a new one would come in. And then I would get it over, and they would either hit it straight back over or take a couple of hits or, whatever to get it back over, rotate, hit over. And it was pretty fast paced because there's a lot of times they're just hitting it out. But my thing is, at least they're moving for the ball. And I've told them that. If you are running towards the ball and mess up, I don't care. At least you were going for it. Because if you go for it consistently, you're going to eventually hit it, and you're going to hit it correctly. So at least move your feet. So that was the focus on that. And man, they loved that exercise. Oh, they loved it. They just thought it was so much fun. Well, They didn't love it so much when they stopped calling the ball and I started making them run a lap every time. Or if it would hit right in front of them and she just stood there, go, that was yours. And there was a few times where it was like 2 or 3. There was one time it was 3 of the girls because it hit right where all 3 of them very easily could have gotten it. And I was like, all 3 of you, take a lap. And so, you know, it kept them, and it was just one lap around just the volleyball court, not like a whole gym or anything like that, you know, just right there. But it kept their mind on, I need to talk and I need to move. And I tell you what, after 2 nights of that, you know, 2 different practices of doing that, huge improvement. Oh, I was so proud. Oh, I was so proud. And none of them got mad when they had to run. They were like, oh, and then they'd go run and then they'd jump back in and they were more committed the next time. So anyway, it's just been so much fun and such a great experience getting to coach her cute little team. I'm kind of sad that I, you know, won't have her in that next year, but that's all right because I'll be reffing a lot more, so it'll be less schedule conflicts. And plus I will have 2 of my own girls in school volleyball because Kyan will then be in the middle school volleyball and Anansi will be in high school. So luckily they don't play at the same time on the same days a lot, but not at the same time. So whew. Anyway, oh, and their schools seem to play different than what other schools do. The other schools are playing like Mondays and Wednesdays, and their schools are Tuesdays and Thursdays, which is awesome because I could block out my Tuesdays and Thursdays to go to their games, and I could ref Mondays and Wednesdays. So anyway, let's see. What else? Anything else this week? I got to do preschool. I got to teach preschool. I'm glad it's only once every 4 weeks. It was not hard. It is just really, really not for me. I don't love little kids in I almost said large quantities. There's only 4 of them and one wasn't even here. I don't like groups of little kids. I mean, I can barely stand my one. Like, I don't love little kids. Like, okay, I love them. I don't like them all that much. This is going to make me sound like a horrible person. I don't do little kids very well. I really struggle. And, you know, so, I mean, we made it through. We still had fun. We did, you know, their papers and snack time and the songs and, you know, all of that. I just couldn't do it on a regular basis. Let's just say that. The kids are super sweet. One we had some issues with, and I, you know, had to kind of set him aside. That sounds bad. Set him, you know, outside of the group a couple of times, but, you know, overall it went fine. I just really have a hard time with small children. But Quinn, it's worth it. It's worth it for how much she has grown in the last month. I mean, seriously, it's insane how much change she has gone through just in the last month. She runs up to my sister when she sees her. My other sister came into town. She hugged her. My brother-in-law, who she will have nothing to do with, which is funny because he's the one that's married to my sister that's around the corner. So she sees him on a regular basis. She wouldn't have anything to do with him. And when they went to Anansi's game on Monday, I guess, you know, all of them walked in, and Quinn saw Danny and was like, "Danny!" and just went running over to him and like started climbing up him, and he picked her up, shocked, and she was wrapped around him, and he's like, "I'm not letting you go," and he held her until she was done. And I mean, he's a great uncle, but just the fact that, I mean, seriously, she has had nothing to do with him. Barely a high five or a fist bump when he would leave. So huge, huge, huge strides in the last month. So yeah, so happy that we're doing this. So happy we're doing this. It's worth moving out of my comfort zone and teaching preschool once a month to see her moving up, or moving like she is, growing like she is. So anyway, I think that's all. As far as going on and coming up, going on is still retreat signups. We had some more this week and they're going well. It's not full, so there's still plenty of room if you want to decide to come spend a long weekend in beautiful southern Idaho in the spring. Yeah, as far as coming up, I got nothing. Nothing. I'm hoping that maybe because I'm recording regularly again, that there might be a group who would be interested in doing some knit-alongs, maybe starting at the beginning of the year, or anyway, we'll see. There's it's hard to tell because in the Ravelry group there's essentially one person who ever responds to the episode, on the episode thread, so I don't know if there would be any interest, but if you are, let me know. Yeah, sorry, I'm a little off. I went back to bed after the kids went to school today, mostly because I slept through my, not through my alarm, I remember like snoozing it and even snoozing it again, but you can snooze and then it'll do it 3 times, and that last time it turns off. I had to have done it every time. I only remember doing it the one time and I was like, okay, I have 2 more, I'm good. No, I woke up at 7:22. We usually walk out the door at 7:21, and I went running through the house. Guys, get up! If we hurry, we can drive over to the bus stop and make it. And 5 minutes later, we were walking out the door. They like clothes changed, shoes on, grabbing their stuff. Grabbed a bagel for Eli. Kyan doesn't really eat in the mornings, and we even had time to spare because we drove. So we were there in plenty of time. Oh, but I told them, I was like, you guys are rock stars. This is awesome. So anyway, yeah, that was, so that's why I'm a little, because I went back to bed. Obviously I needed some sleep. So the one project that I have to show you is not the sweater or the hat. The sweater I have worked on here and there, like a row here and there. I keep it in my purse, and so I did like 4 or 5 rows at work the other night, and I've done 2 rows waiting in line for the kids at school. So from the marker from last week, there's like this much. No, I lied. I worked on it Friday. There's like this much, but it's the same. It's just that same mistake rib. So it's out in the van. I didn't worry about going and getting it because it's the same, just taller. I'll show it to you next week if I work on it. I did finish half a skein to see, and it's going to be considerably longer. I'm so glad I have that extra skein because the pattern, this is the Dagna, pullover, D-A-G-N-A, Dagna, and it sits like just at the top of her pants on the picture, and I know I'm short, so for one, that, you know, makes it so it's going to be longer on me, probably by a couple of inches, but that's still not I'm doing this like you can see it, it's still like barely at the top of like my hip bone, and if you put your hands up or move or whatever, it's going to be short, and I don't really want it to be short, so we'll see. But at the same time, I might want to put a pocket on it, so I have a ways to decide. I have, because remember I told you that you go up, add in the sleeve stitches, and then go up and over. Well, I have until it's as long as what the pattern calls for before I would add, you know, the sleeve stitches, which I can't remember, 15 inches or 17, I don't know. But anyway, and then I will, you know, kind of hold it up, see how long it goes. Obviously there is a little bit of growth when you block it, but at the same time, it's a washable yarn, and so if I do ever put it through the washer and then on, you know, a low tumble dryer or whatever, it will kind of shrink back up. And so I need to make sure that it is a length that I'm really going to be okay with. Because it's a Valley Yarns brand, so it's a Webb's in-house brand, I could order another skein of it and make the pocket out of that other skein and be totally fine with that. I know dye lot, blah 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 blah, I get it, but theirs are usually pretty consistent because they're machine made. So anyway, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But I also am thinking that I might, because it'll lay flat with it being mistake rib, what I might do is leave a slit on each of the sides when I'm sewing it together, so that way it's not so snug and will move a little bit more easily. I'm kind of thinking about that as well. So stay tuned. We'll go through this together. If you have any thoughts, let me know. Sorry about that. Anyway, the hat I honestly have not even touched. I don't even know where my project bag is. I think it's with the rest of my knitting stuff down in my room. Yes, it is. I remember seeing it yesterday. So what I picked up and am solely working on is my leg warmers, I guess. So here's what it looks like. This is actually half. It's a super tall leg warmer because it goes up over your knee. I love, love, love how the tonal works with the spiral rib. This marker is just to show kind of the halfway point. It was when I was making it, I picked it up and was like, oh hey, you know what, if I just finish this, I could cut it and bind off and have two of them. And then I was like, wait, these are supposed to be extra tall. So I looked, sure enough, they're over the knee. So I went ahead and finished it up and bound off, and then started the second one. So this is how far I am, and like I said, this is the only thing I'm working on, and as you can see, I still have a ways to go, but that's okay. It's just an offset 2x2 ribbing. It's a free pattern by Pearl Soho. I kind of ribbed leg warmers or something like that, I think is what it's called. They're spiral rib leg warmers, I think maybe. It's in my project page. You'll see a picture of the skein of yarn. This is a huge skein of yarn from the first draft. It's a hot rod red, and I will have enough to do other stuff with, so some slippers and maybe something else. So anyway, love working on it. It's so easy to just grab and take with me. So I'm making really fast progress, especially because I'm focusing on it. So anyway, that's it. I don't have any spinning. I don't have any designing. I don't have any acquisitions. Just the one project and a super busy life. And I see a Quinn over here, so she might come to say hi to you really quick. Hi! Do you want to come say hi? Yeah, come sit with me. And look what she slept in last night. How cute is that? Can you say hi? Do you just want to wave? No? Okay. Aren't you cold? Yeah? We'll get you a blanket. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, there you go. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up, and I will see you next week. And until next time, keep knitting. Bye! Bye.